Well, I'm joined just now by a supporter of Donald Trump who went to meet him very soon after he was elected as US President, Nigel Farage. Thank you for coming along. You've been very vocal, obviously, in criticising the protests that we're expecting, especially these big protests tomorrow. But presumably, you would also accept that this is part of the democratic right of people.
Oh, a democratic right to protest, of course there is. But what is very odd is the number of people protesting Trump who don't protest when Arab dictators come who treat women as second-class citizens and conduct all sorts of barbarities against people. And for the Mayor of London, for the GLA to have allowed this blimp, to fly in Parliament Square. I mean, I can't think of any other country in the Western world that would allow that to happen. So I think that's really pretty poor behaviour.
Donald Trump, though, is something of a lightning rod for these sorts of protests because of the way he himself behaves. He has made issuing insults almost his stock in trade, hasn't he?
Of course. He's not a career politician. He's a businessman. He says it like he sees it. And look, I'm a supporter of his, but I would be the first to accept he often is very confrontational and brash in his approach. But I tell you something that is really interesting. He was elected on a ticket, a manifesto, and he's trying to carry that out. And that's a really big marked contrast to almost every other leader in the Western world who don't keep their promises.
I'm not sure if you heard some of what I was saying as you approached me. I was talking about that latest polling, which is more supportive than it was last year of this visit, because it is a working visit and not a state visit. So do you think that more people are separating the office of the President of the United States from the incumbent?
No, I think they are, and rationally so they should. And surely the grown-up position is, whether you like Trump or not, the relationship between us and America is important. We're the biggest reciprocal investors in each other's countries, and we need to have a good relationship.
What do you think can be achieved in this visit? Do you think there will be any progress towards a trade agreement post-Brexit, or is that perhaps too ambitious?
How can there be a trade agreement if Mrs May is signing us up to regulatory alignment with the European Union? So there's a big problem here. I mean, we've got an American administration, not just Trump, but the other officers, who are very pro-British, very pro the special relationship. And it's us saying, I'm sorry, we can't do it.
I'm just being told, forgive me if I've got the details wrong here, that you went to the US Embassy or to the Ambassador's house and were turned away. Is that correct, Mr. Farage?
No, I was coming to see you.
OK, so that hasn't happened. You haven't been?
No, I came to see you.
OK, and are you meeting the President? Are you planning to meet him during?
No, I mean, Downing Street made it a red line that he's not to meet me on this visit, so that makes it rather difficult.
What about the private part of the visit? Are you meeting him in Scotland?
No, I'm not.
You're not playing golf with him?
I've met him many times since he became president. I'm a supporter of his. I think he is reshaping the world in many ways. He may even have got NATO to come to its senses over the course of the last 24 hours.
The President made some big comments on NATO, didn't he? He said that the US was contributing something between 70% and 90% of the NATO budget, which isn't the case. It's more like 22% on direct spending towards NATO. But, I mean, do you think he's going to undermine his own stated aim of putting America first, making America great again by trying to tear down some of these alliances?
I think you all misunderstand this completely. He set out at Davos what America's global position is under a Trump administration. America first, but not alone. All he's asking for is people who are NATO members to pay the membership fee. There are 29 members, and only 5 of them are paying the membership fee. It's the same request that Obama made. Twice Obama made the same request.
Absolutely, as we have reported. But it's the way he does it. He's very combative, isn't he?
Yes, he isn't going to change. That's who he is. He's a businessman who's come into politics from the outside. He says it as he sees it. He doesn't care who he upsets, but he gets things done.
Finally, is the UK going to get anything out of this visit?
Well, I would like to think that the Prime Minister will say, look, I'm sorry, we're not yet in a position to get our relationship closer, but we are going to deliver Brexit, a proper Brexit, not a checkers Brexit, and we will be heading on to a closer relationship. I hope that comes out of it. I fear the reality is there'll be quite a confrontation between the American administration, Trump, and May and her government, because the Americans can't believe, frankly, what a mess we're making of Brexit.
Nigel Farage, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And in fact, asked about the checkers agreement.
Big Man Tyrone here. Make sure to subscribe to the Wicked Awesome Robin Hood UKIP YouTube website. He exposes the leftist crops on the British brainwashing corporation Nice.